Great. So I want to go ahead and begin. I know all of you folks are really eager. It looks like we still have more people coming in as we speak right now, which is really great. Again, I just want to remind you, if you have any questions, please just hold on to them until the end. If you do have those questions, I think it's best if you just type them into the chat box, and then Lia can go through some of your questions in case she doesn't answer any of them at the end of the presentation. Okay, so again, thank you all for coming. I'm going to go ahead and hand this off to Lia right now. So Lia, are you there with us? Can you hear us?
Yes. Good
Great.
evening, everyone.
Thank you so much, Lia. I'm going to go ahead and click through this for you, but why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Evan. First and foremost, I would like to thank each and every one of you who are with us tonight in this webinar. My name is Mrs. Lia Desembrana, a certified teacher for secondary education. I joined the program 2 years ago, year 2018. The task given to me tonight is to provide information, not to convince any one of you or force any one of you in the program, but to provide information so that you can make a good decision. And first thing, I would like to say that this wonderful opportunity is not for everyone. If you are qualified, maybe this is for you. If you think that you are already happy and satisfied with your current situation, if you are already happy and satisfied with the salary you are receiving right now, and if you are happy and satisfied with the quality of life you are providing for your family right now, maybe this opportunity is not for you. But if you are one of those people who are looking for a change, who are looking for professional growth, better economic life, because each of one of us have different reasons why we need a change. In my case, I would like to tell you my story. In reality, 3 years ago, I was not aware of this wonderful opportunity. Around late 2017, this opportunity came. Little did I know that saying yes to this opportunity would change my life forever. Now, to tell you about the benefits that I gained from joining this program, I have been certified by the Department of Education here in the US as a secondary or high school teacher, and I am allowed to teach several subjects. And that certification is until year 2032. I experienced taking several courses here in the US for my professional development, and it is really an amazing experience. I have been to a lot of places in different states, including Arizona, California, Nevada, Texas, and Washington, D.C. And mind you, I am being paid the same as comparatively qualified American teacher. One of the reasons why I said yes to this, it's not only because of the money. Imagine this. Back in my country, let's say, for example, if I am earning, let's say, 1,000 pesos a day, and I will be teaching for 20 days a month, that is equivalent to 20,000 a month. In a year, that is around 240,000 pesos. If I will be working for 10 years, that will be around 2.4 million. But in this country, here in the US, I am now based here in Arizona, and maybe you are aware that when compared to other states, Arizona is receiving less, and yet, if I will be, for example, my current annual salary right now is around $45,000. In peso, that is already more than 2 million pesos. Imagine, I saved time. For me to earn more than 2 million, it would take me 10 years in the Philippines. But I can earn the same amount in 1 year here in the US. I saved 9 years. But as I told you, I am doing this not only because of the money. For your information, I came here and I am not alone here. I am with my family. My husband, Arnel, is now a certified mechanic here in the US, meaning he passed competitive standardized exam, and he is now currently working as a mechanic in Toyota in a J2 visa, meaning dependent of a J1 visa. So therefore, if you have a husband or a child, they can be your dependents through this program. My daughter, Donna, only 20 years old, who came with me also here in the US, experienced working in Walmart at California, but now he was hired as an executive assistant here in Arizona. My youngest child, Zane, is a child with special need who came with me also here in the US. And he is in the spectrum of autism, and yet, because of the very good education he is receiving here in the US, he received several awards in school. And I couldn't be more proud. Because of this opportunity, my eldest, 23 years old, not my dependent, no longer allowed since he is already 23, he is now working in Dubai. I sent him to Dubai. It is because we can do it. It is because of the opportunity working here in the US. And not only that, I was able to open my own business in the Philippines during my second year. So as you can see, there are a lot of opportunities that is in store for you if you will be joining this program. Most of us have what we call active income. That's what we are doing already in your country, in my country way back then. But we don't have a way to increase the way we earn. It is because what we are doing is already hard in our country. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough resources. And yet, that is the opportunity that is open for you if ever you will say yes to this. But as I was telling everyone, this opportunity is not for people who are not willing to make a change. These people are, this opportunity is for those people who are willing.
Leah, this is Evan
Yes.
here. I just want to let you know, just let me know when you want me to click through the slides here. I know we're still on your intro slide.
Yes. Okay. So in that slide, I can, where is that slide? Wait. When I came in the Philippines, maybe you are wondering, do I have, next slide, please. Did I experience some doubts and fears? The first thing that you have to do first, you have to know if you are eligible. And Green Heart will do that for you. Okay, they will guide you if you are eligible or not. But you have to make a firm decision first. You have to be willing to do. It is not the knowing that will give you the result. It is the doing that will give you the result. Taking action. That's what I mean by that. Next slide, please. When I came here, I experienced, or even before I came here, I experienced a lot of doubts and fears. And I was thinking that maybe simply because I am from the Philippines, I am an Asian, I am a woman of color. So I had this fear of discrimination. And then if you notice, I have this strong Filipino accent. I had this fear that people make fun of me. I was thinking, but that maybe I was not good enough, etc., etc. But I made my belief my desire to make a change or to take action bigger than any of my fears. And so I took action. I came here. I did what I have to do. I think I've been really proactive. Um, I am always excited to wake up in the morning, meeting the students, doing my job, learning, uh, teaching, and I think my job is not only to go through the day, but to improve myself every single day. And so, if you have some doubts and fears right now, it's normal, but make sure it should not hinder you from taking action. Make a move. And if you are wondering about your house, our host, your school host, and even Green Heart will definitely guide you every step of the way. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, I would like to share something. I would like to share this to all of you. It says here, in order to achieve something better, we have to give up something good. Meaning, yes, as you make this decision, as you will be taking actions toward your goal, there will be huge sacrifices. But I will tell you, it will be worth it. I remember the story of the old wise man and a young boy. And the young boy wanted to test the wisdom of the old wise man. And so he asked the old man, "Old wise man, can you please tell me if the bird I am holding is dead or alive?" So the old wise man paused for a while and then answered, "Young boy, my son, if I will say to you that the bird is alive, you will just squeeze it and show it to me dead. But if I will say dead, you will just free it and it will be alive. So the life of that bird is in your hands." Ladies and gentlemen, my job tonight is just to present to you the opportunity. An opportunity that changed not only my life, but the life of my whole family. And not only that, every student that I was able to make a difference, uh, it was really priceless. That experience of meeting them every single day, seeing them learning and growing, is really an amazing experience. I am just passing the opportunity to you, but it's up to you to take action. If you encounter the story of this fisherman who was just walking ashore and then he stumbled a sack of stone, maybe this opportunity is just like that sack of stone. And that fisherman, thinking that it was just a stone, uh, threw those stones one by one back to the ocean, only to realize at the end that those were precious stones. So, as I was telling you, this opportunity has the power to change your life only if you are willing to take action. Thank you, Mr. Evan.
Thank you so much, Leah. I appreciate hearing your story and a little bit about you and what motivated you to come on the program. I'm just going to ask you a few questions about the slides we have up because I'm sure that our viewers would like to hear just a little bit about it. But if you can just, everybody here can see all of the amazing things that you were able to do while you were on, the program with Greenheart. Can you just tell me the biggest difference that you faced between how you expected this program to be versus the actual experience that you had on the program? What was the biggest difference or the biggest change that you had to overcome while in the program?
Well, I can say that if you are in a new country, you are in a completely different situation. And so you have to rise above all of those negative tendencies. You just have to believe in yourself, keep an open mind, and have this humble learning or good learning attitude. I thought that I would have this difficulty dealing with the people here, but mind you, I thought I will face discrimination. But here's the reality: the most amazing people in my life right now I met in this country. The American people, they are so supportive. I love their work ethics. They are all about efficiency. And if you would like to level up your performance as a teacher, this is the perfect place to be.
Thank you, Leah. I appreciate that. I'm just going to go ahead and click through the slides here. I want everybody to just have a quick look at this slide. I know it's a lot of words, but these are probably our top 10 most frequently asked questions that we receive about the program. I know that a lot of you folks had some questions coming into tonight, so I just wanted to go ahead and review these really quickly with you. And then, after this, we will go ahead and just answer a couple questions that you folks have about the program. You can just ask in the chat box and Leah will be able to answer for you. So quickly here, I want to just run through each of these questions that we had. It says top 10, but we only had 9. Do I have to find housing on my own? Yes. So typically we do not provide housing for participants on this program, but we do work with the participants, so all of our teachers, before you come to the country months in advance of arriving here, to help make sure that you've coordinated a housing option before you arrive. You will also work very closely with your schools and the points of contact at your schools to help identify different housing leads. Okay, the reason that we don't provide housing for everyone is because every single teacher on this program has, a different requirement for what they want for housing. Some of them are bringing families, others are coming on their own. So it makes it difficult for us to, find one solution for everyone. So how much will they pay me? That's a good question. So I can tell you what the average salaries are for teachers. They generally range from $35,000 to $55,000 USD. And that's dependent on a lot of different factors. So it's dependent upon the level of education that you have, the subject area that you're teaching, and the experience that you have teaching that subject. It's also often different based upon where you live in the country and where you're teaching. So each state is kind of different too. So what is the possibility of my visa being approved? I would say this is a high probability. We only had 5 visa denials last year, and almost all of them were in the Philippines. So that means that we really didn't have many, which is a really good sign for the program. One more thing, how difficult or long is the application process? Well, applications usually take 2 to 3 weeks, but the applications are kind of dependent upon how quickly you're able to collect all your documents that are required. And you'll work with OFEET in the Dominican Republic to help submit all your documents. But when we have all of your documents and we approve you for the program, I'm sorry, it looks like someone's drawing on here a little bit, so disregard those lines. Interviews and placements can range from anywhere as early as February, and we will be having our job fair in February, so they will start in February, all the way through to June. June is kind of late, but generally we do all of this work in February to May. Can I travel to my home country while in the program? Yes, of course you can. All you need is a travel authorization from Greenheart Exchange. So that means we just need to sign off on your DS form, and that will allow you to enter and exit the country. How many candidates have participated in this program? Well, thousands of teachers come every year to teach in cities and towns pretty much all across the US. If you follow that URL, that link, you can see everything about all of the teacher placements in every single state, and that will give you a better idea of how many have been on the program. If I take my wife or husband, could she or he work? Yes, so this is something that Leah already talked about. Um, Yes, when your J2 or your dependent arrives to the United States, they need to apply for something called an employment authorization document. That's something that you can ask us for assistance on. Greenheart will be happy to help you with that. And it can sometimes be, approved in a month, and sometimes it could take 3 to 4 months. It really just depends on where you're applying and how quickly you can get that application in. But again, you can reach out when you're on the program to determine what that length of time might be. If I take my children, can they study there? Yeah, so school-age children can study in public schools or private schools, but private schools do come at a cost. But while they're here in the United States on the J2 visa, they can study in elementary and secondary schools, but not at the university or college level necessarily. You have to have special approval for that, and generally you have to be in a different J1 visa category for university students. And then the last question that we generally get is, will I receive assistance while in the US? Yes, of course. Teach USA monitors all program teachers monthly, and we follow up with any requests or issues that come up almost immediately. But again, we have a 24-hour emergency line too. If anything really bad comes up, you're welcome to call us, and we'll be able to help resolve your issues. And again, a lot of the placements that we're hoping to fill in this next job fair coming up in February will be in the Chicago area. So that means you'll be in our backyard. Greenheart Exchange is based in Chicago, so I am here right now. So if there's any questions that you have, or if you want us to come visit you, or you want to come visit us, you're more than welcome to. So those are just some quick answers to the most basic questions that we generally get. So right now, I wanted to take maybe 10 minutes or so to answer any questions that we haven't gotten to yet. I know that you have plenty of questions, and again, eventually you will be able to answer all of them for you. But this was really just to give you a good idea about what you can actually expect on the program. I think Leah's a really great example of a successful teacher we've had on the program, and a lot of it has to do with just having a great attitude about coming here and being ready to learn and experience different things. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read through some of the questions. If you have any burning questions that you really want answered tonight, you can go ahead and put them in the chat box, okay? Try not to actually raise your hand. Why don't you just go ahead and type them in the chat box if you have questions, and I will ask the questions. And if it's a question that I can answer, I'll go ahead and answer it. But if it's something that would be better for Leah to answer, I will go ahead and defer to Leah, okay? So the first question that I see here is, what can you tell us about taxes? All of you can expect to pay taxes while in the United States. You don't pay some of the larger federal taxes as an exchange visitor on a J1 visa, but you do have to pay, some basic low federal taxes, state taxes, so Illinois taxes, and local taxes if you have any. Sometimes you might be placed in a state where you don't have any income taxes. So this is kind of dependent upon where you're placed. But for the sake of this question, and I'll give you the example of Illinois, is yes, you can expect to face taxes, and you can look up what the taxes are for Illinois. But generally, yes, you can expect to pay taxes, income taxes, for the salary that you're earning. Another question here are, what are the odds of getting hired for good? So the odds are pretty great, I think, if you are interested if you get in your application immediately, so within the next week or so, you get approved by OFEAT, and we are able to start processing your application on our end in Chicago, then we have a good chance of inviting you to this to our job fair coming up. And the school districts that we're working with are very interested in hiring a good amount of teachers. So I think the odds of getting hired are great. I personally have spoken to several other school districts, so if it doesn't work out at this first job fair, we have plenty of open positions available for the upcoming school year as well. So that just means that we'll have to just coordinate further interviews with different schools if that were the case. All right, let me go through here. Can my family travel with me since the first moment? Yeah, so can your family come with you to the United States, I think is what you're asking, Anjanette. Yes, they can. Generally, we suggest that first you arrive to the United States. And then after you've been settled in your new community, in your new job, in your new housing situation, then we say it's probably best for you to invite your family to come along. But yes, you're certainly welcome to bring them right away. But again, you have a lot of adjustment to take care of with your new job. So generally we suggest waiting a month or two. Do you help me with my husband's visa process? Yes. So if you have a J2 dependent, so a husband or a child under the age of 21 that you would like to bring, Greenheart will help you process those applications. They're very simple, and it's actually part of your application process. So if you are interested in bringing a J2, you need to fill out a separate short application, and we will help you out. It's not a problem if I get married during the process. So no, generally that's not an issue. Again, that's not something that we provide any assistance with or support with. If you're interested in getting married, by all means, you're welcome to. Some question here. Let's see. Security is pretty great with the schools that we work with. I don't think you have much to be concerned about. It's generally, I think it would be the same as it is in your home country. You avoid kind of dangerous situations and scenarios, and you should be just fine. So is there a possibility to be located in New York or New Jersey? That's something that we'll have to sort out on an individual basis. If you're interested in that, you can certainly tell OFEET during your application. Does the process have a cost? Yes. So to get to this job fair that we're having in February, you will just incur a $200 application fee at the beginning of your application with OFEET. That is a fee that everybody who comes onto the program has to pay. And then once you're placed, then you pay a program fee. And OFEET, I believe, will be sharing those fees with you during the application process. When you are accepted onto the program and you're determined eligible, Greenheart will also have you sign a terms and conditions and fee transparency agreement. And based upon your specific situation, you have a specific cost for the program. Great. Different placement location questions about going to be placed in different areas of the country. I'm just going to pass over those for now. Yes, you can travel to another country during the program. All you need to do is request a travel authorization from Greenheart while you're here in the country. And that means we just sign your DS form and send it back to you, and then you're okay to travel. The contracts last up to 3 years. Generally, the schools that we work with, we will be issuing 3-year visas to all participants on the program. Each year that you're at a school, they'll renew your contract at the end of the school year. So in the spring, like generally around March or April. So for teachers, one question is, what kind of tests do you do to teachers? So teachers need to, it's going to be different depending upon what schools you interview with, but the only test that you would need to do would be an English proficiency test if you are going to attend the job fair. This is called the Nelson-Denny test. I'm going to go ahead and type it in the chat box so that you can look up what the name of the test is. That's something that the school districts that we're working with here in in Illinois just require in order for you to get a license. Just kind of speeding through some of these. Do I need to be legally married to travel with my husband? Yes. If in order for you to claim them as a J2 dependent, you need to show your marriage certificate. So you do need to be legally married. As an applicant, do we have any say on location preference for placement purposes? Yes, so it's different depending upon if you're interested in coming to this job fair that we have, or if you are willing to wait, a couple more months before we start coordinating interviews for you. This job fair is specifically for Chicago, Illinois placements. If we have available positions after that in different locations, you can just note that in your application with OFEAT, and we will try to accommodate that for you. In terms of eligibility questions, do you have to have a degree in education? You can have a degree in education or any other subject area that you intend to teach. So that can be a degree in science, or a degree in Spanish, a degree in economics, and that will be okay. It is important that you have at least 2 years of teaching experience though. Okay, so that's very important for the eligibility for this program. I'm going to skip down just a bit here. So do we get to work for 1 year or 3? I'd have to quit my job in the DR. Well, that's kind of up to you. Generally, we talk about this program as a 3-year program, but you're more than welcome to leave the program at the end of your first year if you'd like. That's just something that you need to coordinate separately with the school. I think that's a specific situation, you deciding to quit your job. I think you would almost certainly have to leave your job in the Dominican Republic if you were leaving to the United States for a year. But again, that's your specific situation, so I don't know. Really good question from Virginia. If I get located in one place, can I be relocated into another one? Yeah, this is called a change of host school. So this is something that Green Heart will help support you in doing. Generally, if you ask to be changed from one spot to another, you need to find a new host school for yourself. So sometimes we'll see teachers change their schools at the end of their first year. And sometimes we'll see them change at the end of 2 years or 2 months, even if they really don't like where they're at. These are all things that we can help you with. So in terms of applying right now, I would really suggest that you only turn in your application for the moment if you're interested in coming to this job fair. The reason we're having this job fair is because this is a really good school district. And they have a lot of positions available. So this is a really great opportunity with a really great placement for you. So I would suggest that you try to complete your application, come to the job fair. But if not, you can let OFEAT know that you would like to apply for a different position later on. Great. Again, these specific questions about your current employers, I can't really answer for you. I think you'd have to talk to your schools about that. No, we do not locate schools in other countries. This is only for the United States. When you join the program, do you get a home next to the school? Yeah. So again, finding housing is your own responsibility. You can work with your school, and they will help identify housing that's close to your school, so that you can go ahead and pursue that. If you need help coordinating that, you can reach out to Green Heart as well. I have another eligibility question here about a degree. Yes, you absolutely need a degree, a degree that's equivalent to a U.S. bachelor's degree to apply for this program, okay? And part of the application process requires that you have a foreign credential evaluation. So that is a document that you need that helps you to evaluate your degree and make sure that it's equivalent to a U.S. bachelor's degree. Okay.
We're getting ready to do a scenario.
I'm going to go ahead and it looks like I'm going to go ahead and mute you, Leah. Great. What are the, great. Okay, so in terms of licensing and certificates, that's not something you have to worry about if you're going to participate in the job fair. Our schools will help you walk you through that licensing process. If you have a job offer already from a private school in Chicago, I would go ahead and let OFEAT know that, and then you would be eligible for our self-place program. And that's if you already have a job offer lined up. You're still welcome to apply for the program, and we will still sponsor you. Okay, great. Let's end on this last question here. How much does rent normally cost in this school district, and an estimate? So generally, that ranges depending upon the size of the place that you want to rent. It can be anywhere from $500 a person to $700 a person if you're sharing an apartment with multiple people, all the way up to give you some personal information here. I rent an apartment for about $1,500 a month, so $1,500 a month, and I share that apartment with my fiance. So we split that in half. So that's just a general idea. Again, you can look up all of this information online. You just go ahead and Google normal rent costs in Chicago, and then you'd have a pretty good idea. And yes, actually, I'm going to end on this last question. If you have a tourist visa, do you still need to get a special visa to participate in the program? Yes. This is the exchange visitor program through the U.S. Department of State, and that requires that you have a J1 visa. So to answer your question, yes, a tourist visa will not work for this program. Okay, well, again, thank you all so much for taking part in this webinar tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get back to you if you sent me private messages. But again, I want to go ahead and thank Lia so much for jumping on this call with us and telling us a little bit about her experience. So thank you, Lia.
You are most welcome. Thank you so much, everyone. I would like to end this by saying that there are 3 types of people listening in this program. People who make things happen. People who watch things happen. And people who wonder what happened. I hope that the people listening in this webinar are the people who make things happen. So decide and make action. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you again, Lia. And again, I recorded this webinar, so don't worry if you missed anything. I will share it with OFEAT, and we look forward to seeing some applications from all of you soon. So go ahead and contact Amber at OFEAT, and you can begin the application process. And I really look forward to talking to all of you again in the future, okay? Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope you all have a good night and a good weekend.